Hi, I'm Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio here in Amarillo. I'm here to talk today about something that just may come up in your life this weekend. Food banking. So what is food banking? Well, food banking means that you're skipping meals just so that you can eat a large meal later in the day. Don't try to get past this one and tell me that you haven't done it, because we all do. Maybe it's date night, Christmas dinner, or some other big event, or maybe it's something small but fantastically full of calories type of meal. Whatever it is, we're going to refer to this as your focus meal for today's purposes. So people usually do this because they believe that they're going to be eating huge amounts of their focus meal, or they know that their meal is going to be full of so many calories. So they look to save calories throughout the day by skipping a meal or two or some snacks to save those calories. Well, I don't want to be a bubble buster, but when you save your calories for later, your body lacks nourishment of nutrients. So what we need to remember is that the word calorie is the same to food as inches is to length. It's a unit of measurement. Calorie is the name that we use to determine how much energy each specific food has. Some calories sources are good for us and others not so much, but an overindulgence in calories generally only leads to trouble later on. So when you food bank, you cause a deprivation of nutrition within the body, basically meaning that you didn't put gas in your vehicle that day. Without gas, you can run on fumes or stores of calories for only so long before the body will really cease to go, just like if you ran out of gas in your car. So what you just created is a state of starvation. Your body's now beginning to shut down all non-life creating functions. Basically, everything outside of your lungs breathing and your heart beating all starts to slow or shut down. This is going to include things like your metabolism, your cognitive function, and so much more. You start to store fat and use muscle instead as your fuel source to continue on. Muscle is critical to raising your metabolism. We'll talk about that another time because it's kind of a big subject, but for now, let's take a look at what you've just caused through your so-called good efforts of food avoidance all day long, which you're probably very proud of. Now, by doing that, you've primed your body for this focus meal to work a bit differently than normal. Normally, your body takes in nutrition, like calories, and digests them and absorbs only what's needed, and then it lets the rest go. But today, my friend, isn't normal anymore now that you've managed to avoid food for a period of time and started this starvation mode within your body. You have, through your behaviors, told the body that food is in short supply. The body has translated this to, I need to store more than I normally would in case I don't get fed again tomorrow. What this means is that at your focus meal today, your body is going to be storing or begin storing as much food as it possibly can, and most of it's going to be stored within your fat cells. So that way, then when the food is not being delivered to the body at the right times in the future, it'll be able to pull from those stores in order to survive. Our bodies are really quite smart. Another downside to food banking is that really during your focus meal, you're extremely likely to consume 2 to 3 times or sometimes more food than what you normally would at a normal meal sitting. So meaning that later that evening, you're probably not going to feel very well. Now, if this is a habit of yours, if you do it on a regular basis, you're just going to have to trust me that a change of pace on these days will actually do you a world of good, especially if you're wanting to transform the look of your body, whether that's losing weight or gaining muscle, because a lot of people do this in order to lose weight. When transformation is the goal, you're going to have to feed the body more consistently and allow it to hold the muscle. Remember how I mentioned that it helps to raise your metabolism, therefore burn more fat, and learn to let go of the fat. So eating 3 to 5 meals throughout the day and giving equal timing between them will be your best defense against storing any extra calories as fat. You'll also need to be sure to plan your meals out ahead of time. I'm all about having a joyful meal once a week to rev up the system and take away that dreadful deprivation mentality, but if you're planning to include some joy, make sure it's planned out in advance. Don't leave room for a Hail Mary decision at whatever restaurant you end up at. On that same note, may I ask why you're planning on overeating in the first place? If you're saving calories during the day for that big meal, that focus meal, that tells me that you're planning on overindulging in it. And if you want to eat those foods, that's great, but you really don't need 6 servings of chicken fried steak. Hey, I'm a personal trainer in Amarillo, Texas. That's kind of what people do around here. So trying to limit your serving sizes to or of the less healthy foods, but still enjoy them. So you want to have them, you just don't want to have 6 servings of them. Last but not least, we're going to try to front load our meals ahead of time. So either before you go to the restaurant or right as you sit down at the restaurant, eat some raw or maybe some al dente vegetables, have a salad and some other veggies or something like that 30 or less minutes before you eat. So you could eat it all the way up to 30 minutes before you go. And by doing that, you won't have as much room for the meal whenever it comes up, so you won't eat as much. So to sum it all up today, if you are a food banker, I have 4 points to bring to your attention. First, we're going to try eating 3 to 5 meals throughout the day and giving equal time between them to prevent overeating during any meal. Second, we're going to plan our meal, but don't plan to overeat. So plan it out, get the food you want, but don't do too much. Third, we're going to front load our meals up to 30 minutes before with raw or al dente vegetables like a salad to help decrease our appetite. So instead of food banking, the idea is to follow these points when you aren't preparing the food yourself, and maybe even if you are. But instead of saving up for a big night out, we just want to plan. So if you'd like some help learning to implement these 4 points and to receive some customized guidance, our team would love to help. Together, our team has over 30 years of experience in the fitness and wellness industry. We use research-backed programs of nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle modifications that really have the ability to begin to create life-lasting changes within the first 2 weeks. You'd be surprised what you can do. So if you'd like to set up a consultation with us, just give us a call, 806-322-3188. Thanks so much.